All right, all right, all right. That was awful. Ow. Ow, what the hell? Hold on one second. Alright, we're back. Mostly. Let me get this all up here for y'all. Give me just a second. Just got done looking at the echoes thing, and that's kind of cool. That's kind of neat. I love this song, by the way. It's such a fun song. Alright. Just got to get YouTube up to speed here, everybody. Give me just a moment. I will need that for later. There we go. I know that the Twitch people are probably trickling on in here. Hello, greetings, and welcome. Just getting this all set up on the YouTube side of things. Give me just a sec. Give me just a sec. There we go. YouTube is always fighting me whenever I want to stream. It's such a pain in the ass. It's such a massive pain in the ass, bro. Such a massive pain in the ass. There we go. That's good. That's good. All right, cool. Cool, cool, cool. We won't be up for very long today. I will let you all know that we will not be up for very long. Give me just a moment to get everything all set up here. There we go. That is not what I wanted. Gosh darn it, hold on. There we go. Bot updated. That's looking good. That's now public. Just got done looking at the Echoes reveal thing. I have my thoughts on it here. We will talk about it as well. Give me just a sec. I'll let everyone know that we are currently live. What's up? Okay, I see Twitch chat is up. What's up, Twitch chat? Okay, there we go. Everyone is starting to trickle on in here. What's up, everybody? My thoughts are not nice for the most part. Yeah. What's up, Twitch chat? What's up, YouTube chat? Got you all up here. Gonna get rolling here in just a second, continuing on to our Gambit marathon. But we're gonna use this as an opportunity to talk about all the stuff that we saw today. Oh, the ding coin is already going. The ding coin is already in full swing. Is everything looking good on YouTube? Looks like we are. All right, cool. They nerfed Gambit. How do you figure they nerfed Gambit? I'm curious as what you mean by they nerfed Gambit. If you'd like to join us today for some lovely Gambit marathon, go ahead and type in the join command that you can use from either !ID or what you'll see in the description there. More Gambit, yay, kill me. Yeah, basically. Basically. If you're over on YouTube, you might see the dings pop up every now and then. That's because Twitch has we started a new fun investment opportunity for you all called Ding Coin, where you can use channel what's it called? Channel points? Yeah, channel points on the Twitch in order to redeem a chance at getting a ding. Gambit, that's right. So I subject myself to this pain. Only if you want to. No one's forcing you. They're forcing me, but not you. Anyway. I must invest in Ding Coin yet again. Yeah, only available on our Twitch right now, unfortunately. Consent is key. Yeah, certainly. Okay, so let's talk about some of the stuff that we got to see today in the echoes, shall we? While we're all loading in here. I consent to being dinged. There you go. You guys want to talk about that? You want to talk about some of the stuff that we got to see today? If you actually enjoy Gambit, machine guns are good again. Right. Yeah, well, Gambit's fine. Gambit's fine. I have my own thoughts for Gambit. By the way, the stream is going to be rather short today, unfortunately, because I am severely behind on Wednesday's video, and I want to give it like a proper shakedown, you know? Gambit privates are a thing. They are, in fact, a thing, yes. I try to remain spoiler-free on Echoes Act 2 stuff. You don't need to. There's not a lot that was discussed. Like, I understand remaining spoiler-free.
Gambit is peak destiny.
Yeah, it racked to peak destiny. That's right. That's right. Thanks for the sub, Private Pounder. Let me get you up here. I've got my stuff pulled up here. Everything should be saved properly. Let me know if anything is looking weird. Snipers are going to be a bit overused. A bit overused is the understatement of the century. Snipers just became the de facto meta. So I'm convinced at this point that Bungie wants Still Hunt to be meta. Like, unabashedly the best. Why Gambit? Because my chat loves to torture me. You're still doing this. We are unfortunately still doing this. However, I will say, just because we have so many, yeah, exactly. Like, we have so many people throwing down for this, I am increasing the rate at which we chew through some of these. So you're going to see that sub count go down faster. Thank you, DJ Fresh, for the channel member. The fuck do they do to snipers? They made them unbelievably good. Specifically, solar snipers. Huh, I wonder which solar sniper people are going to use. I can't imagine. Yeah, they didn't nerf Still Hunt. They tripled down on it. They fortunately did mention a nerf coming. Double sub now, Lamau. Nice. They fortunately did mention a nerf to Prismatic Hunter specifically within PvP, which is nice for us PvP plebs out here. But yeah, good lord, man. Good lord. They tripled down on the solar sniper meta. I do not understand why. I do not understand why. I'm a bit of a cynical, okay? I'm a bit of a cynic. I tend to kind of like look at things in terms of with the thought process of like there's ulterior motives going on here. At this point, I am convinced. Bungie is trying to. Hey, nice, got a ding. I'm convinced Bungie's trying to sell Final Shape by making Prismatic Hunter with Still Hunt the unabashed best. Damn, two Benji. Holy crap. Benji's getting hella lucky with his ding coins. I found the only guy who plays Gambit in 2024. Yeah, that's real. That's real. Oh no, ho, I see. Reduce the sub addition to 3 minutes instead of 5. That's right. So we're going to be chewing through games significantly faster. That's right. Because we have barely gone down from the last time we did this. 3 total dings out of what was it? 3 total dings out of 6,000 channel points for 3 dings. I mean, that's a pretty fair return on dings right there. You can make 2 subs for 5 minutes. It's pretty close to that right now. You're gonna see that number drop really quickly. Hey, 200k, congrats. Gambit is certainly a memorable method of commemorating it. Just want them to bring back the Tangled Shore Gambit map. Yep. Cyberprime. We did some work for Cyberprime, by the way. Smaller channel if you guys want to go check him out. He's in the chat right now. But yeah, they tripled down on making hunters the absolute best. Well, not hunters, but Still Hunt by proxy hunters. You know what I mean? Like, by making Still Hunt better, they're making hunters better, and I do not know why. Question, why Gambit? Because my chat loves to watch me suffer. My chat loves to watch me suffer. But yeah, I've increased the rate at which we chew through the subs. So if you want to keep me here for long, you're gonna have to show up a little bit more intensely. What's the 30k burrito thing for? That you're talking from the Twitch chat. That is for forcing us to play another game of Gambit. And anytime, whatever we're doing. That works outside of this stream setup here too. Hunters have always been the main character of Destiny. I mean, like, but that's fine, but like other things need to have a spot. What's confusing to me is that they are so good right now, and I know a lot of people don't like when, you know, content creators say something is too strong or whatever, but like, guys, take a look at the mirror for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? Good lord. Hunters are so freaking strong right now. They're so freaking strong right now. Oh, I'm on a goofy class. You know what? Whatever. We're rolling with it. As a hunter, we're too strong. Yeah, it's like they're so incredibly strong right now. So incredibly strong. And making solar snipers specifically good is just like asking people to run still hunt. You know, it's not even that I'm wanting y'all to suffer. I don't care. I just want the game to be freaking balanced. I dislike it when there's only one major contention for options. You know, when something's so obviously the best, you know? I don't get it, man. Ding. I don't get it. Damn, Dingcoin going hard right now. No TDT tokens though. No TDT tokens, but maybe we'll get lucky. Anyway, I'd love to see the Titan thing. Holy shit. What Titan thing? Map is pretty at least. It is a pretty map. I do like this map. For me, the redeeming grace here is that specifically heavy snipers that are solar, i.e. Whisper the Worm, is going to be generally more encouraged. I still don't think it's going to be run as much as Still Hunt, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. Buffing 2 supers and not even the bad supers is nothing. Well, I appreciate any buffs at all at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I would like to get a little bit more. Now I'll go dump this in. Now, he's over there. There's one. They're hiding from me. Look at him hiding from me, bro. Ah, a little bit more time would have been perfect. That's fine. We got the drain their bank basically dry. No PvE nerfs to hunters to top it isn't just insulting to me. Yeah, I can kind of feel that, honestly. Also, did the music track just die? Can you guys still hear the music track? It is just straight up not playing for me at all right now. Watching you run and grab motes instead of using your class ability hurts. Yeah, I have it on my PvP loadout right now, so I don't have the thing. Trust me, I've been playing so much Gambit. I'm probably a Gambit expert at this point. Like, realistically. Oh, no, there it is. It's really quiet. Right, this track is just really quiet. Okay, I can hear it, though. Oh, no, blockers. We're so far in the lead. Ow! Alright, whatever. There still could be... Wait, sandbox and stuff. Let's see, hold on. And there still could be nerfs coming. They just might not see it as part of Act 2, just normal sandbox bouncing. That's true. But, like, here's the thing. Here's the thing that makes me not quite believe that. Here's the thing that makes me think that they're more likely, like, what they've got is what they've got, is that they specifically called out things that they're going to be buffing and nerfing. And I'm willing to bet things that they thought were, like, key items. You know what I mean? Like, they specifically mentioned some buffs to Titans, supers that, you know, are range and whatnot. And they mentioned some PvP nerfs, right? They're talking about things that they feel are important. He doesn't know I'm here? What? Okay, I guess he doesn't know I was here. So it makes me think that they're more likely to be not considering nerfing it at all. And again, I'm a bit of a cynic when it comes to Bungie and game dev and all this other stuff, because it doesn't make any sense. Here's something I've been kind of on for a while. Let me run this past y'all, chat. There could have been a focus on Celestial Synergy. Like, yeah, I get that. I get that, right? I understand, like, the looking at it very charitably, right? But let me throw something else at you. This is something that's been on my mind for a while, and it was almost going to be the topic of tomorrow's video, but I decided to talk about Gambit based off of just how much I've been playing it. They haven't made year one stuff better for a very long time. Like, some crappy year one stuff. Like, name a year one weapon. There's more exceptions than there are consistencies with it. You know what I mean? Like, I think of, like, good year one stuff. I think of, like, Sunshot. You know what I mean? So I'm a bit of a cynic when it comes to game design and such, and I'm more willing to think that they're okay with, let's say, leaving some of the newer stuff a little hot, rather than bringing it down or bringing the other stuff up. You know what I mean? That's kind of my thought process here. GG's. Your own armor all got depreciated to an extreme extent. Perks have all gotten disabled. Nothing new. Still Hunt feels like Final Shape sells Final Shape copies. Sunshot does not. Yeah, exactly. That's me being a bit of a cynic, right? And I want to give Bungie the benefit of the doubt, right? But then when it comes to, like, hey, Still Hunt's kind of just like rolling over everything right now in PvE. It's a little much, and we might want to, like, roll it back a little bit. Oh, also, what would that be? Yeah, quite a bit there. Anyway, we might want to, like, roll that back a little bit, you know, and instead we double down, arguably triple down on making it good. I kind of start scratching my chin. You know what I mean? It's the exact kind of Occam's razor thing that makes power creep happen. Yeah, it feels like an Occam's razor point at this point. You know what I mean? Am I crazy in saying that? Am I crazy in thinking that it's a matter at this point? It's like, you know, Bungie's not gonna jump on doing something that arguably sells more Final Shape copies. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I don't want to think that way, but, like, man, actions speak louder than words, and the actions they've been throwing down have been consistent. Still Hunt from being really good everywhere to just why ever take this thing off? Exactly, right? It's so close to beating out the 4th Horseman with Caddy for best DPS, it's ridiculous. Which is, like, crazy, right? Because 4th Horseman requires you to be point blank on something. You know? It requires you to be within the danger zone, trademark. More Gambit, yep. Took months for them to nerf Starfire Protocol. It was in the stratosphere for a long time, and then they dropped it into the ground. Yeah, that's true. It's true. Actually, you can attack 7 million damage on average with the Still Hunt Goldie Hawk. With the dungeon and raid bosses crazy. Other two classes need something to do, yeah. Remember the exotic weapons were overpowered and rare. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yeah, like, I always push back against people that say, like, oh, X exotic needs to be nerfed. It needs to be in line with legendaries. Like, no, it doesn't. Exotics need to be better. They're exotic. You only get to run one of them. I would much rather have an exotic be slightly better than the rest than have it be exactly the same as everything else. GC wanted a 5 out of 5 Hush roll and wanted an excuse to play tons of Gambit. Yeah, if only it was that easy. And again, like, balance and stuff is hard. Balance is difficult. That's not something that comes around. It's not something that's you know, you can just be like, oh, well, if Bungie just balanced the game, you know, it's a lot easier said than done. A lot easier said than done. Here, let's play Sentinel. Not the class, but the play style. What is this? Is this any good? It's kind of alright. Depending on running for recovery and comp, you better have something to get your health back. It continues. Yes, it does. It continues. Balance is hard. It's their job. But that doesn't make it, like, less of a problem. You know? There's lots of things that are people's jobs. It doesn't mean that it just suddenly gets easier. Like, yes, you're right. But I guess that's kind of my point. Like talking Occam's razor, there's a point at which we look at it and we go, okay, yes, we know that balance is hard. However, I feel like Still Hunt's kind of an obvious thing that we need to bring down a little bit. The watch time does not work. I do not know why. What'd you get? Oh, 15. Solid, solid. Running anything less than 10 recov in PvP is a toss. Yeah, it's not ideal. Not ideal. What's this new game mode? Yeah, it's this crazy new game mode they just updated called Gambit. Might want to check it out. And before Celestial Still Hunt still lasts longer than the top dog PvE as Stasis Hunter did in PvP. Yeah, Stasis Hunter PvP was a problem, but it was like a month, you know? And the nice thing was, at least as far as I can remember, they talked about it pretty early as being like, hey, yeah, this is a little too strong, we'll get to it, you know? Man, I need one more. Are you kidding me? How many times have we reset Gambit reps? 3 times so far. We're almost on our 4th. Stop moving, damn it. There we go. You like Gambit? Nope. There's not a door up here. It's out here. Okay. I know you're right there. There you go. I seriously don't have an angle on this. There we go. There we go. There we go. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Watching TDT ignored the bank when he could have opened the invasion portal while the enemy had a thick bar. True. I was trying to slow them down, though, and look how much progress we got off of that. I was hoping we could drain their moats while I was invading so that they would be scared to push. Yeah, not bad at all. That is a high-value target. Where is the boy? Damn. No close-range weapons feels bad. It's fine. We still got Primeval up. You shot bro's shoulder. Bullet magnetism says otherwise. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm half tempted at this point, based off of the live stream today, to talk more about the balance and how year one's kind of getting shafted, rather than talking about Gambit. I've already got some thoughts down for Gambit, but I feel like Gambit can wait, you know what I mean? Like, it's a hot topic right now to talk about the other side of things. Where? Oh, I was going to say, where the hell did he go? Got no shot on them. Interesting. They're in an interesting position here. Damn it. There we go. Damn. Shouldn't have repoked. Shouldn't have repoked. Love your channel, TDT. Thank you. Ishin? Ishin Gosh? Ishin? Actually, I haven't said anything, so we don't know what they think until they address it all. This is just guesswork. Destiny community has a tendency to go way hard one way instead of thinking a little bit ahead of time. I mean, like, again, that's true, though, but, like, steps are taken a particular direction, right? Like, we can kind of plot their trajectory, right? Even if they haven't said something specifically, we can still use, you know, somebody mentioned Occam's razor, and I like that. I like that as a thought process here, because that's important to this conversation. We can look and see, like, okay, it seems a little ridiculous as to what's happening here, and a lack of conversation about it. Oh, I wanted to try to get a cheeky snipe off. Not bad, though. Starfire argument is kind of ridiculous. You weren't reliant on having 4 to 5 Starfire argument is kind of ridiculous. You weren't reliant on having 4 to 5 Starfires to kill a boss in the most effective way possible. While it's not required anymore, Day 1 Edge proved that the only way to effectively defeat the Witness was having 4 to 5 Still Hunt Hunters. I mean, well, that's true to a point, though. That's true to a point. I think that might be more of a matter of, like, the Witness perhaps being a little difficult or different. We're going to head back to orbit here. We're going to get a new group. Eternity Jack, Ian, and Existence. Go ahead and bounce for us here. So, chat, what would you prefer me talk about for Wednesday's video? Because I could talk about both. I have enough thoughts that I feel like I could get both out decently. Should I talk more about how the balance of the game is shifting more towards selling product, or at least it feels that way? Or should I talk more about, like, what Gambit could have been, should have been, and what it is by comparison? What would you prefer? Alright, got some people joining in. There we go. One more slot still available. Gambit. Lots to talk about Gambit. Interesting. Over from YouTube. Hello. If you're with us in the Twitch chat, try out the Ding redeem. It's kind of funny. See if you can invest in Ding Coin. It's the smartest investment of 2024. See if you get a ding. Believe beating more Gambit is beating a dead horse. Interesting. It's me, your therapist. You missed your appointment. We're just here to do it. We're just going to do it here. How does Gambit make you feel? I want to know opinions on Gambit. Interesting. Okay. Already got one ding. Nice. Love some more actual Gambit talk other than just delete it. Okay. Never too much talk about Gambit. Okay. Lots of talk about Gambit stuff. All right, cool. Ding deniers quit before they hit the ding. Yep. Interesting change to the Gambit. That would be fun. Okay, so interesting. More people interested in talking about Gambit, huh? That's very interesting. Like, I know we're talking about it on a Gambit stream, so we might have a bit of a weighted discussion here. But it is nevertheless interesting. I was totally expecting it to be a bit more of a split. How's Dingcoin right now? Dingcoin did not change. We let the first day be now that we're tracking it more. Kind of pushing cynicism also just as a downer topic. So that might be part of it. That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. Pig Step. Yep, this is indeed Pig Step. I think people want to talk about it because they feel that Gambit is a dead game mode. That's fair, yeah. So, question for everybody. Do you consider Gambit to be more boring, frustrating, or a perfect mix of both? Like, why don't you specifically, why do you specifically not play Gambit? Because, like, here, let me throw some numbers up here for you. Blue Blood with the ding, nice. Let me throw some numbers up here for you. Where is it? Check this shit out. Look at the population of Gambit. Overall, about 1 million. Let's just round it up to 1 million. PvE, the majority of that. PvP, fair amount of overlap between PvP and PvE, actually. You can see that at least 200,000 people who would play PvE end up playing PvP. But, as you'd expect, you know, not as much people playing PvP. Gambit, by a margin of 5 times percent, or 5 times factor. Holy shit, dude. You'd have to have 5 times the amount of Gambit players in order to come close to PvP. That's insane. And I'm willing to bet the vast majority of the people there, like 90% of the people there, are there just for the loot. That's kind of nuts when you think about it. Okay, both because I hate PvP. I hate PvP, but I love PvE. It depends on how much I hate PvP when I'm good. Interesting, right. Holy crap, that's slow, yeah. Just shallow, interesting. Gambit is repetitive, interesting. So that'd be more on the boring side. Frustrating, perfect mix of both. Interesting. Frustrating to play without friends, and I don't like to play just for the loot, right. Just too repetitive, interesting. Interesting, interesting, okay. Gambit benefit from a checkmate style changeup. Yeah, but I think it's gonna take a lot more than that, if I may be honest. So not enough diversity in Gambit aside from the builds. Yeah. So, chat, let me throw an idea at you here. A lot of people mention Gambit Prime, and I've looked through some Gambit Prime stuff. Ooh, 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, William Sema. Huge. I'll throw that to the list here in just a moment. Here, let me update the thingy here. One sec. One sec. There you are. Thank you. Very appreciated. More Gambit, unfortunately for me, though. But you know what? It's a small price to pay. Thank you so much for the gifted subs. Gifted memberships. Been gifted a membership. Yeah. If you get gifted a membership, thank your gifter. If you're playing Gambit, does that mean that there's 13 Gambit players and not 12? Yeah, I know. It's right. It's crazy. But yeah, isn't that number staggering? I find that number to be shocking. Because I knew the Gambit pop was low, but I was like, you know, a third of PvP. That sounds about right. That feels right. No. It is 5 times lower, which is nuts. Another sub. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. Alright, let's clear some stuff. I like how excited we were at the start of the stream, and 12 hours later we're gonna be dead. Yeah, I'm not playing for very long today. I gotta make a video, and apparently it's gonna be talking about Gambit, so it's kind of in theme, you know. Oh, shot his ass. Right in the ass, too. That was a clean ass shot. Right up Main Street. Stand still up. Okay, you're irritating me. There we go. Is the stream delayed? You probably have a little bit of delay. Yeah, that's natural. There we go. There's a lot of things we can deposit now. Who's excited for Still Hunt to be even more broken next act? Yeah, true. Why can't I invade? I want to invade. Alright, fine. Like, and that's confusing to me. Why wasn't I able to invade there? We had the thing, right? Oh, they were invaded. Right. Why isn't there more of a visual feedback? I didn't even know we had an invader in there. I'll look away for a second. Anyway. Alright, I've got an idea. Let me get some stuff here. What if the center bank gave you perks depending on where you bank? So there's four different things here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 roles in Gambit. What if depending on where you banked would give you points towards that that role? Let's say for every 5 it would give you a point. Maybe every 3 it gave you a point. Something like that. So that way you could actually start speccing into what role you want to be really early. So if you wanted, you could start out by like, okay, I'm going to lock down, I'm going to get some of the invader perks. You know, I'm going to have some of the invader perks, but I could mix it up and be like, okay, I'm like invested 10 points in, or like, let's say 5 points in on invader. I want to start putting a little bit of perks towards Sentinel. A score streak system. Kinda. Think of it more like a roguelite. But like as you continue to play, you begin to gain more and more perks. We could increase the amount of health that the boss has in order to compensate, right? To let the game go a little bit longer. Me invading with Sugarnog. Yeah, exactly. Like, but no, seriously though, right? What if you could have a couple perks that give you like some of the Sentinel stuff, let's say. The Sentinel stuff kind of wants you to play more defense. And then you could grab some of the Sentinel stuff and then you could rotate in as an invader and get a bunch of kills from range, right? Team's chances of winning are too reliant on the invader. Invading is too strong. That's the other thing. What if invading was more of a conversation rather than this thing that happened every so often? Be careful, TDT. It sounds like you're having a good idea. Sorry. I'll fix that next time. Destiny being built around 3-man party with having Gambit being weirdly 4v4. 6v6 might be tough. Yeah, that's not a bad idea either, though. What if we made it 6v6? Increase the boss's health to compensate. Right? Make it so that you can get 20. You can get 20 motes. 15 on your side, and then 5 on the red motes on the enemy side. Bank all 20. The enemy bank to despawn their primeval. No, that's a little much. That's a little much. Make Gambit a big team battle. No, that would be too much, too. I think bringing it up to 6v6 to match the parity is not a bad idea either. But anyway, so you could spec into what you ended up wanting to do for your role, right? So you could be like, I want to be partially an invader, partially a reaper. Like, I want to have a little bit of both of those things going for me. Okay? And now, let's talk about invading. What if heavy ammo wasn't something that you had on by default unless you started to spec into an invader? And what if killing the invader netted you heavy ammo? So, it became a problem if you invaded and didn't do a whole lot, or if you invaded and didn't make a significant impact. Sounds like 6v6 Gambit Prime with extra steps. Why not? Everyone liked Gambit Prime, didn't they? But here, like, talking about invading. What if invasion was pretty much something that you could always do? But if you invaded and died, you gave the enemy team heavy ammo. And what if that was the only way to get heavy ammo? So it became a situation where it's like, I want to slow them down, but I don't know if I want to give them heavy. So the thought process then became more about thinking about what do I want to do? Do I feel like I'm a good enough invader that them having heavy is not as valuable to me, that I can make more of an impact than they're going to have heavy? To make heavy invaders a thing. Make more sense with Sentry. Love the roguelike idea. Alright, let me see what Anansi has to say. Flat out, I think you'd have a mini-boss spawn during the match as only thing that spawns motes. Each mini-boss drops, let's say, 3 motes and spawns frequently enough that setting 15 motes for a level up makes sense. Each mini-boss should have pretty health. I'm assuming you mean a lot of health. Then roguelike could go with that way with the Seasonal Wish one, right? Doesn't address my concern. Hold on. Doesn't address my concern where the entire game rotates too heavily around invasions, because bad invasion will feel worse and a good invasion would mean even better. But if you made the invasions harder to do, it became more of a skill check. You still get invaders just rushing the team over and over and over again. Right, but if you get an invader that's just continuously rushing the team over and over and over again, then you're just consistently supplying them with heavy ammo. And with... It also makes sense of having more players. You could increase the amount of people who are on the hunt. And also you could, if you think that the enemy team is going heavily towards invasion, you can make somebody devote themselves purely to Sentinel and really shut down the invader, right? Like, the thing right now is that invasions, people dislike invasions because it's the PvP side of things. However, if you're the invader, it feels great. Spawn locking them for half defense sniper shot. Right, well, that's a problem with the spawns. But at the cost of not having those count towards the bank. Wait. What was the conversation? I feel like Gambit should be, well, a Gambit. Instead of bosses, you need to bank 500 motes to win, and you can use those motes to buff or cause distractions. Yeah, I like the primeval thing. I think the primeval thing needs to stay. More motes could be interesting, though. It'd be frustrating to the invaders team because they're feeding the enemy. It also gives bad actors the ability to sabotage the game harder. But here's the thought process I have with that. That's already a thing in every other PvP mode, right? You can have, and say in comp, somebody just run in and continuously die and drain your lives. It's going to happen. Right? That's going to happen one way or the other. I think you have to kind of ignore bad actors, because I don't think there's going to be ever a way to make that go away, outside of reporting somebody for sandbagging. Can we introduce more roles for 6v6 too? Reaper, Collector, Sentry, Invader. What could be the other 2 players? No. Let players keep the 4 roles, because I think the 4 roles are perfectly representative of like the play styles within Gambit. But let's say for example, you see very early that the enemy team, like, okay, hear me out. What if you could invade literally the moment the game started? Like, it became pseudo PvP the moment the game started. Like, that would send you a note very quickly, like, hey, we need to invest at least one person into being a sentinel. Right? And you could tell which role each person was by it would have, like, some kind of either, like, a buff or an aura, or it'd have something above their name. Right? So if you see that the enemy team literally sends an invader in, like, 3 seconds into the game, you're like, we need a sentinel. We're going to get, like, 2 people on sentinel so that doesn't keep happening. Right? Shut them down. Don't let them get the invader. And now, if they can get a max stack sentinel up faster, it shuts down their invader hard. Or even if you're like an absolutely cracked PvP player going up against a max stack sentinel with hardly any investment. Because here's the thing, as you continue to invade, you are not banking. Right? You are basically forcefully taking yourself out of the ability to bank. So it becomes now an arm race to see whether or not you can actually get enough value into your invader so that they're actually able to do something. Right? Basically, it's saying we are forfeiting the ability to bank moats quickly by submitting somebody as an invader. And even if they're annoying, you can get like collectors or whatnot that hold on to those. Like, there's ways to mitigate the impact that an invader has. And the reason why I'm pushing for this is that, like, for me, I would love to be a dedicated invader. I think that would be so much fun. And I think that if we allowed the PvP players to scratch that itch as much as they wanted, because my problem as a dedicated PvP player is that I constantly feel like I'm having to do the thing I don't really want to do that much. Where's the slash join for this? Exclamation point ID. I'm having to do the thing I don't really like to do that much, which is to just kill stuff and then walk and bank things in. But if I was able to like really stretch my legs and be like a really good invader, I was given the opportunity to be a really good invader, and then forced me to start making some decisions as to whether or not I wanted to invest further in my time, or if, you know, my bank, my moats and such to actually get my invader skills up, or if I wanted to just continuously be an harassment to the enemy team, that would give me that opportunity. Or if opportunities presented themselves, let's say, that I could, let's say, pick up some moats and bank. You know what I mean? But the point of invading is to heal their prime evil and remove their moats, but 3 seconds are neither existent yet. But 3 seconds in neither are existent yet. I don't know what you mean. Frosted Tips. Just 2 more Guardians. Just need 2 more. Yeah, I know, right? We're going to be here for a minute. Hi-ho. It's off to Gambit we go. Let's take this a step further. What if there wasn't a timer on your invade? What if as soon as you invaded, it was basically as long as you're there, you could be there as long as you want? But if you wanted to get back, you'd have to go back through their portal. So defending their portal actually makes sense, because it makes sense for you as the invader to invade, because you're not getting moats, right? It makes sense for you as the invader to invade, kill targets, grab their moats, and then escape. Right? It basically becomes like a mini extraction shooter for that brief period of time as you're invading. So now, if you're a sentinel, you can be like, no, fuck you. You're not escaping with our moats. We're gonna puppy guard this portal.
All right, man.
Yeah, camp the portal. Force the sentinels and the invaders to engage with themselves engage more often. How do you feel about illicit Gambit armor, Reaper, and Invader effects, for instance? No. I feel like that was too much to ask on players, which is why I suggested where you bank on the actual bank would give you those buffs. That allows you to take whatever armor you want in. 5 hunters with trip mines in front of the portal. It would be horrible. You could camp the enemy for the end of time, make them completely unable to play the game. Exactly. Exactly. You would force them to have to deal with you. That is the entire point. And if they're ineffectual, if they suck, here's the thing. Like, you're spending your entire time there, let's say, whatever, right? You're spending your entire time sitting there, forcing them to try to, like, play it slow or whatever, right? They have all this time to go and bank moats. If you aren't being effective on the battlefield as an invader, you're wasting your time and actively hurting your team. Right? You can devote 1 sentinel to sit there and continue to plink off shots to get targets down while your collectors go out and do their thing. Or maybe a sentinel and a reaper or whatever. Meanwhile, their invader is sitting there just wasting their time, getting nothing done. This version of Gambit sounds like it'd be great to farm the Mida Catalyst. I suppose so. Dude, I've learned that Gambit sucks for farming Catalyst. Like, real talk. Oh, getting flinched. What am I getting hit by? Do not like the idea about camping. It sounds like it would make Gambit even more toxic. Yeah, because it's clearly working right now, right? Like, here's the thing. Like, I'm gonna be frank with y'all. My general defense to a lot of the ideas is like, well, it's clearly not working right now. Ah, body shot feels bad. Jump. Ah, I could have had him. Oh, Nova Bomb get him. Did you finish Wicked's Catalyst? Yes, we did. So yeah, like, I'm gonna apologize in advance, but like my rebuttal to a lot of counter arguments to my ideas is going to be like, well, I would love to hear something better because Gambit ain't working. You know what I mean? Like, Gambit ain't working right now. Here's the thing. You say like, oh, that wouldn't be fun, but would it though? Think about this for a second. Think about this. What if I knew there was an invader on this field right now and I had no idea where? I knew he had all the time in the world, but I knew that he had to get through this portal to escape. So I could be up here and I could be helping my team, doing some stuff, but all the while I'm keeping an eye out. I'm like, where's that invader? Where's that invader? Where's that invader? And as soon as I get wind of him, right, now it becomes a chase. Now it becomes a chase. Now I can sit here and I can choose to do the boring thing and just camp the portal, which is the safe bet, right? But more likely, because there's so many of us, we could take the time and go shut them down real quick. Put the invasion portal on cooldown. Right? Make it so that they can't do that again for a little while. Better yet, what if you made it to where if while you invaded, however much time you took in your invasion that was the amount of time that it would take for the invasion portal to come back up. As soon as that portal was done, or as soon as that time was done, they would come back up. So if you were only in there, let's say 15 seconds, and you went down, got very little value, that's fine. There we go. GDT is not onto anything. Okay, so then here's what I'll say. If you disagree, problem is that the invader has a cheesy loadout, is intentionally annoying and unbearable to deal with. Then their team can take as long as they want since the enemy cannot get rid of them. What would you say is that cheesy loadout? Because I think you're addressing the wrong thing. You're saying that the problem is instead actually the loadout, not necessarily the actual engagement, the mechanic itself. Ah, bad timing. You have to go through the portal. How do you invade? More so, how do you prevent multiple people from invading? Only one invasion at a time. So as soon as the portal is invaded, as soon as somebody invades the portal, it closes down while the person's invading. Because, like, right now, you talk about, like, cheesy loadouts. Guy can just pop Golden Gun. Need a second portal. No, only one invader at a time. Only one invader at a time. Add a bank receptacle near where the enemies spawn to increase the pace of the game. Make changes to more drops, carrying, etc. Make good invasion less impactful and bad ones less painful. Longer invaders is there, the less ammo on his loadout he will have. He ends up with only to have primary while the defenders have special and such. Right. Yeah, that's my point. It's like, if you're saying like, okay, well, they can just sit there and lock it down for to the end of time. However long that invader is not actively participating is the longer that it's going to, the less that they're going to end up actually helping their team. That's easy. So an example, I was tomorrow with Storm's Edge. Exactly. Okay. So that's my point. You can't get heavy. that was what I said. You can't get heavy unless you kill an invader. So while you're invading, you likely will not have heavy. Or at the very least, a very limited supply. If the enemy team is not supplying you with heavy, they aren't invading, then you won't have that option. That's my point. If you make it to where heavy comes up less frequently and actively rewards players for shutting down invasions, getting an invasion is an exciting time for the defending team because they're like, oh boy, free heavy. That's my point. That was why I started with that. That's why I started with saying you don't get heavy unless you kill an invader. That completely shifts how you look at invaders. Because instead of looking at invaders as like, oh, this annoying thing, it's like, okay, now we're gambling against each other. Do you think you as an invader will be more impactful? Oh, we're cycling, right? Are we cycling? I think we're cycling. Yeah, we're cycling. Do you think you as an invader is going to be more impactful than us getting heavy? Because here's the thing. If you invade and we get heavy, specifically if our invader gets heavy, the person who have that's going to be running invasions, we're going to be even more devastating to you. Cycle out, everybody. But at the same time, if they can have a way to... Wait. They pick and hide. You theoretically spend an entire match invading, but most players aren't good enough for that. Right. So, like, again, that's the thing. It's like as soon as they reveal themselves, it is just like, all right, go kill the invader. There's 4 of us. Let's say that there's 6 of us. He ain't gonna last long. Even this is like the most cracked player on the planet. 4 of us all shooting at him at once. He can only handle so much. Still not a good idea since you could just camp the other side with something like a sniper or a scout or something and just constantly slog the enemy down, heavy excluded. Okay, and then you as the sentinel. Okay, that's my point. That's my point. What I dislike about the conversation about like why Gambit sucks is that they always say invading bad. I disagree with that. I strongly disagree with that. I understand that where the thought process is coming from, but just to say like no invasions or invasions should not have value at all is a wrong take. Because invasions should be they are a critical part of making one team win or fail. Also, portal issue still stands. What I mean is the enemy comes through, right? Once they come through, they have to go back through your portal to get back to the other side. That means that your portal has to be open. So how do you invade while it's open? I'm not sure what you mean. If you invade while the enemy is on your side, your portal can't close because the enemy still needs to get out, right? So how do you stop multiple people? Oh, I see what you're saying. Only make it open to one person. That's an easy fix. Just make the portal only open to the invading player. Exactly. Then, like, Titan, Eater of Crayons, right? Like, for me, invading is the best part of Gambit. I don't mind invading. I just disagree with your argument to sit on the enemy side permanently. Why not? Like, again, if somebody's camping, let's say, all right, let's put them in the worst case scenario, all right? Somebody's camping in the far corners of the map with a scout rifle because they're not going to have special forever. They can't sit there and just, they were not going to have special. And again, they won't even have heavy unless their enemy team invaded first. They're sitting there with a scout rifle, right? How are they going to continue to maintain value when as soon as somebody knows where they are? Better still, it's kind of the responsibility. This is the same of any PvP environment. It's the responsibility of the defending players to take that out. Like, we want to make it balanced or whatever, but again, we're in a 4v1 situation. Invading not bad, invading hard if you aren't anywhere near the mid at PvP. There are quetch weapons and gambits for reasons. Eyes Galley. Again, but you're mentioning heavy. That's my entire point. I don't know how I'm not communicating this. That's my entire point. Like, you're saying, like, oh, well, these weapons are cheesy. These weapons are broken. You won't have them! And even still, you have a limited supply. So you'll only have so much value. You as the invader will not have heavy unless somebody invaded you first. And then at that point, it's like, well, it's the consequences of my own actions. Like, let me make sure I'm clear. You cannot gain heavy unless somebody invades on your side. So saying like, well, they'll have Eyes of Tomorrow. They'll just invade with Eyes of Tomorrow. Then you have fucked up. There were steps you could have taken that could have prevented that from happening. You gave them heavy. Or, again, that's a limited supply. Eager Edge still does not work, yes. Still Hunt still exists. Again, you will have a limited supply. Like, worst case scenario.
Enough fooling around.
You'd have like 9 total shots, which is a lot. I agree. That's a lot. But do I really think they're going to get all that value? No. No one ever gets 9 total shots off in Gambit. Assuming you deal with the invader, he can still make you waste like 1 or 2 minutes of having to deal with him. Well, lets the other side get a massive lead that no amount of heavy can fix. Fantastic. Go invade. Or invest in a sentinel. Better still, now that you have heavy, you can get a sentinel stacked up faster. You can get your invader stacked up faster. Getting a sentinel stacked up to the point where their invader feels weak. One thing I want to make clear here too, because I haven't mentioned it because we've been so locked in the conversation about heavy, which is frustrating the crap out of me, is as the invader, unless you're invested, you don't get any of your fancy special perks. Like, okay, all right. This might change some people's tune because this is not something we've talked about because we've been so locked on the other side of the discussion. Like, okay, that heavy box would not exist in the reimagined thing. Like, I would not have the stuff I have right now. Would not happen, right? We got that. We're good with that. Okay, cool. Secondly, as the invader, if you invade without any investment at all into your thing, you're invading without the ability to see where people are, without an overshield. You're invading as a base guardian. That if you have a sentinel, let's say that has, like, say, overshield while sitting near their point, that's a lot harder to deal with. Enemy. Hold on. Looking for invader. Like, imagine if I was sentinel and that mark just went out to everybody. Right? They had special even. Like, I think y'all fear the invader too much. I don't know what kind of invaders y'all are at. Y'all are fighting. But y'all suck at counter invasion if that's the point. That guy had... Oh, that drag just walked through a box. Back for more doing coin as the founding fathers intended. Good. With Invader still have wall hacks but not ADS. The Invader would not have wall hacks, period. That's my point. It's like, as an Invader, you are weak. You are a nothing. You're a nothing burger unless you start investing. Which, again, if you have somebody sitting there and invading the whole time, they're not getting any of those buffs. They're not getting any of those perks. So they're gonna suck. Oh, I want... Gimme. Can just leave it at y'all suck. Yeah, I don't understand why y'all are even afraid. Like, I think this is the PvE players coming through here, right? But like, if y'all are having a problem with the dude invading with even a sniper rifle, like heavy, I understand. I understand heavy. Heavy's bullshit. Right, but invading with the sniper rifle, y'all kind of suck. Like, I don't have any other way to put it. You get one half-decent player with a scout rifle, they will deal with somebody with a sniper rifle. Their invasion will be very minimalized. And again, even if let's continue this conversation here. If you get invader that's really good, let them be good. Let them feel powerful. For me, the biggest problem is a lack of efficacy. I don't feel like I'm contributing to the team. The modes I bank here don't feel like I really matter. Hell, a lot of the times during these, I have 3 players who are half decent. I basically could do nothing and still be valuable. Or still, you know, win the game. How long's the marathon been running total? We are currently at like 19 hours. No, 17 hours. I don't know. It's confusing to me. It's frustrating and confusing to me that players are... the conversation is going, instead of being, I think that the invader's too strong, to just outright saying, I think the invader just should not happen. Because that's kind of what's being said. The logical conclusion from the conversation is that the invader should not happen, period. Just point for earlier, the PvE PvP balance is hard because of the players. Yes, exactly. But if you let the PvP players do their thing, and you let the PvE players be ridiculously good at PvE, like, my point is that if you are a good PvE player, you will just simply power scale the invader so hard, they'll be a joke. And then the enjoyment will be, dude, look at this noob, look at this goober invader who's trying to just PvP solo this thing. Meanwhile, I have stacked shields. Because I've stacked Sentinel so hard. They can't even hardly damage me. They haven't been able to do anything. Nice shot. Oh, lost somebody. Kick their ass. Basically, the best way to balance Gambit is to remove heavy, so the only reason to fear is via skill issue. Exactly. It's like, I don't understand the thought process of, like, disallow the impact of a skilled player. Nerf the impact of a highly skilled player. I'm saying let a highly skilled player run the game a little bit. Let them do their thing. If they really are that good, if you stack the deck against them and they're still winning, let them win. Is that not the point of, like, having a good player? Is that not the point of getting better at the game? Can't hit your head when you're moving around so much. Got an orb somewhere. Okay, he's going in. I have no problem with the radical Gambit Isaiah. I must say, Overshield is never much valued in PvP environments. Yeah, well, I want to talk more about this, because I think this is partially... I want to give you guys the benefit of the doubt, and just... I don't want to assume you guys are afraid of a skill issue. Aw, really? On the inside? Oh, actually, yeah, go... Okay, that works. Oh, hello. You got it. Nice. Biggest issue invaders wins right now is, while you can't rely on your team to help you, a lot of the time you have a chance to win the 1v1 if your team just runs away from them. Right. Hold on. I want to finish this conversation just a sec. Just a sec. Get down, Mr. President, all wizard, yeah. I'm worried about when the portal is stolen by a player who's bad at PvP, so it doesn't matter how good your invasions are, the blueberry keeps taking the portal. But again, it's like, that's always going to be a problem. It's already a problem. Right? That's already an issue. Also, we 3v4'd that team. Seeing a huge divide between PvP and PvE players on the issue, but the problem is that Gambit is both, and people seem to forget that. Yeah, exactly. Can you join? Yes, you can. We have 1 slot available. So now that I'm actually able to focus here for a bit, I want to hear the counter arguments again. If you want to just copy paste it. Thank you, Iron Banner. Thank you, Valor. Thank you. Okay, we need to go reset. Repost your arguments. I want to see them. Oh, Marksman left. Captain. Let's see here. Just because I just got here. What if we reduce the amount of healing the Primeval Invader can do so it feels less like we can't come back setback? Exactly, yeah. So, again, I think this is a matter of, like, not having the holistic picture, right? Because the whole thing I'm trying to change is this, like, all the annoying shit you dislike about Gambit, toss that. Let the invaders actually do invasion stuff. Let the PvP players have their fun, right? And let the PvE players flex on PvP nerds. Like, that's the point I want to drive home here. Like, let the PvP players do their thing. Let their PvE players do their thing. Let it get to the point where, like, if the PvE players are really that cracked, they'll laugh in the face of the PvP invader. It doesn't matter how bad they are at the game. If they can just cook freaking a Primeval, that invader is not going to feel that good. But yeah, do things like make the invader as a whole, because it's going to be up all the time. Make the invader as a whole be more of a nuisance to slow down the team rather than being like a game changer. Because right now the problem with the invader is that it's a game changer, right? A good invader will just completely shut down the enemy team. But if you make it to where the invader is more of like something you have to deal with, more of like a mini boss style of threat, rather than where it is right now, where it's like it is an Avengers level threat, right? So they're able to heal the Primeval far less unless they're invested. Right? Which, again, that requires them to have played the PvE in order to get there. Make it to where health gates on the Primeval aren't a thing. So that you can cook through the Primeval as quickly as you want. And stacking up the bonus damages are a way for you to get through that much faster. Okay. Swimming was sick to the idea that you can immediately invade, like you said, and then what's stopping the invader from cutting? Oh, what's stopping the invader from cutting the enemy team at the throat by sabotaging their game completely? You being better at the game than them. That is the point of PvP. That's I'm sorry if I'm really like lashing in on this, but I'm very, very, very opposed to that thought process, because that's the same argument as saying, like, what's stopping the good PvP players from ruining comp for everybody? Okay, first of all, there's already skill-based matchmaking, whether we like it or not. That's skill-based matchmaking. And second, yeah, that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point. If you're good at the game, you make it harder for other people to play. That's the entire point. All right, let me get another one here. What if the invader was chosen at random and the defender was chosen at random? No, I dislike that. I dislike that, because then that feels really bad. If you're like, let's say, imagine you're loading into Gambit, like, I really want to be the collector, and you're constantly stuck just from bad RNG as being the invader over and over and over again. You're just constantly sitting there going, man, just let me freaking collect. I dislike that. If the gates aren't there, you'd need a lot of health to incentivize breaking. Yes, I agree. Exactly. Yes. Up the Primeval's health, make it to where you actually have to start chunking things down. I need to start tossing some of these. That's not terrible. Hold on. That also is not terrible, but we'll move on from there.
Nothing like a common enemy for bringing people together.
Agree, Drifter. Hard agree, Drifter. Feels like invading immediately is kind of useless. Exactly. Like, yes, you stay in until you leave or die, but it's much more likely you die and at the beginning and there's no moats for you to lose. So it's just a bad idea. Exactly. Exactly. That's the point. You're seeing the forest through the trees. Good job. Yes, that's the point. Invading immediately, yeah, you can, but why? Why would you want to? If you love PvP, sure, go be a pain in the ass to the enemy team for like 30 seconds or so. Right? but you're just giving them heavy. You're not slowing them down in any significant way. You don't have any invasion skills or anything like that, so you're just a dude with a scout rifle versus the world. Like, good luck. Go for it. Yeah, exactly. You'd be giving the other team heavy. It'd be really dumb for you to invade right at the beginning. What's the song even from? This is Dragon Roost Island from Wind Waker, Legend of Zelda. Exactly. So Anansi gets the point. They're like, yeah, you can invade at the start, and if you're a good player, go for it. Go shit on the chest of the enemy team. Kick their ass. Absolutely obliterate them. But is that the smart thing to play for 90% of the population? You probably not. Oh yeah, Gambit rank. Yep, whoops. Yep, thank you.
Kill anything big lately?
Go run this by Raul real quick. How many times to reset? 4. I think this is the 4th time. Keep shifting my point as if it's a PvP issue when it's not. The problem is how you can completely waste their time long enough for your team to get steamroll going. Again, like, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, and I know that your point is that you're saying that it's not a PvP issue. My point is that everything you just said is a PvP issue. Because, like, you're 4v1. Presumably with no heavy. Kick the person's ass. Rip them up, spit them out, and say, come back next time, thank you for the heavy.
The barter is warranted.
What if the invader also... Okay, so if we're worried about it, what if the invader also dropped motes? So, what if they drop more motes depending on how long they stayed? Let's say for every, I don't know, 30 seconds they're in, they drop 10 motes, and that could stack even higher. To the point where if you kill that invader after they've been in there for a while, that is a huge reward for you. At the point, the invasion wouldn't matter since you can, since your team can have max Reapers collectors to pull Primeval in a stupid short time and just burn that down before the enemy team has a chance. Exactly. Like you're defeating your own argument here, Pumpkin. That's a lot of engrams, yeah, I know. 10 motes per minute's probably better, yeah, probably. But you get the idea. Like, give them some kind of rate at which it discourages them from sticking around. Yeah, give me a reason to load into Gambit as a PvP loader. Like, if you see some dude load in there with, like, a Jade Rabbit, a Jade Rabbit and, like, I don't know, Stompies or some shit, you're like, oh, he's the invader. Let him go do his thing. If it can stack up that ply, do players have a mote limit? No. Well, okay, yes, they do. Yes, they do have a mote limit, but obviously it's like, if that invader drops, let's say, 60 motes, your whole team feasts on their corpse. The whole thing I'm trying to access here, by the way, is that making invasions more of a conversation. Because right now, it's just a thing you do. Everybody does it no matter what. It'd be easier to fully articulate my points if YouTube comments were limited to a stupid small 200-character limit. Pumpkin, I've given you a lot of time. I just don't feel like you're making a good point. Like, I'm not trying to be offensive, but I feel like I've given you a lot of time to get your point out, and I just don't feel like you're making a very strong argument. I know that can feel frustrating, but like I said, I've read through a lot of your comments, and I want to hear contrary opinions. I do. Obviously, I believe firmly in my opinion. Obviously, right? So I'm going to ardently defend it, absolutely. But I want to hear contrary opinions because I want to see if this idea is actually bulletproof or if I'm doing something stupid. Saw someone say sacrifice motes to spawn the portal and think that's actually an incredibly good idea. Sacrifice instead of dunking motes. That's not a bad idea, actually. Yeah. Like, what if it took, let's say, 15 motes to even get the portal up at all? You can invade as much as you want, but it actually actively slowed down the enemy team. That's not a bad idea at all. I actually really like that. That makes it more of a cost, too. And now we can also juice up the invader a little bit more, too. Instead of banking motes to open the portal. Yeah, spree. Sprees? Yeah, I actually really like that idea. Make the invader a target with incentive so long as people think twice about doing it. Yeah. Exactly. So my problem with invasion right now is that you are going to invade as much as you possibly can, and there's no downside to doing it. Right? So what it becomes is that if you get a good invader right now, if you have a really good invader in Gambit, if you have a really, really solid invader in Gambit, they're going to destroy your team. Because they're juiced and they have it up on every team is going to have it up as loosely the same amount of time. Right? So the arguments that I've seen so far of like why not to let the invader do their thing can be applied to Gambit as is right now, 1-to-1. Right? Whereas if we shift it to make the invader, like I said, a conversation, where when the invader actually invades, it's like, okay, it actually might be worth it to me as a sentinel to just lock this person down. Let's say, just lock them down so they can't do anything, let their body accumulate motes, kill them, drop 30 motes for our team. Suddenly that invader feels really bad. But if you get a good invader, they roll in, they clear out your team, and they escape through your portal. Damn. You know what? They earned that. They earned that, man. If you go and invade and die, but they don't invade at all, suddenly you've lost infinitely more than you've gained. I think there needs to be a better incentive to invade in the first place. Right, so again, if you knock motes out of people's hands, like if you invade, that would be the thing. Exactly. Now we're getting back to the point where, like, you as the invader, if you're going in knowing that you're in the invader, you're starting to think to yourself, okay, I can invade anytime I want. I'm going to wait for them to get a lot of motes. And now you as the defending team start thinking, all right, we have a lot of motes. Hey, Sentinel, can you go invest and get some Sentinel perks up so we can shut down the inevitable invader that we're going to get here? Why are people complicating this so much? I kind of agree. You can invade just to be a distraction too, just to be a nuisance. Exactly. Yeah. If you are a, let's say, a half decent invader, you can just lock down the center bank, right? So now you're just slowing people down while your team is down a man, right? Down a man, but they're presumably able to get a lot more done because you're locking down 4 players, let's say. It's now a value exchange. That's my whole point. Is I want it to be a trade in value, where like you're giving up a player to go invade. They might even have some downsides to going and invading. So it's now your 3 are left in peace, relative peace. What if your strength as invader scales with the number of motes you're carrying? That's also not a bad idea. It's also not a bad idea. That could be a perk even. What if the invader perks were something? Well, that would also be kind of contrary to the whole portal thing. But like, what if the perks were scaled according to the amount of motes you had? So like at Invader 1, if you're holding 5 motes, you have an overshield when you go in, something like that.
Shadow Legion on the field.
That would be risky, but yet rewarding.
Time for a gun.
Because you also need motes to open the portal. That's still okay though. Like if we required the portal to be only cost 5. Let's say it only took 5 from you. You drop all the motes plus the ones the game adds to your corpse as a risk reward. Exactly. My whole point is that I'm trying to add risk reward. Because right now it's just reward. Invading is just reward. That you lose 30 seconds of somebody potentially collecting motes. That's nothing. Make it a risk reward system. Yeah, I like these ideas. The problem with, my point is that the problem with Gambit from the start is that invading was too easy to gain value from, which made the PvE players feel really bad. Actually, I need to collect this before these go away. Made the PvE players feel really bad because if you get a good invader, it's just like, well, okay, we just lose. There's no way that they can counteract them outside of being good PvP players themselves. But if you're a half-decent PvE player, able to shut down a good PvP player, they end up rewarding you for a lot more. Total motes needed to pull up prime movals increased and somewhat on board, since at 100 it could take maybe 30 seconds of camping the bank the sniper to make or break the game right now. Sure, I'm fine with that. I also think that that's part of going to be part of the vision too. Increase the amount of motes banked. Like Gambit Prime required you to bank more motes. Right? Gambit Prime required you to end up banking more motes. And that kind of carried over into the new system. Also, y'all should be collecting. Hold on, focusing. Here we go. See, like, look, this dude really would have liked this dude to have banked earlier. And he could just not bank and throw the game. Like, there's so many ways for somebody to already mess up the game for you. That guy's laggy. This missing my shots. That's okay. Hope we can send some stuff over. I'm now going to forcefully cause this guy to slow down.
High-value target is on the field. Hunt it down.
Oh, he had a sword. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, 150, because, like, you get collectors, too, right? If you can get people who stack up to collectors, they're able to start banking 20 and stuff. Reapers who are able to get more motes spat out. Yeah, just make it more exciting. Give people more opportunities for those shutdown opportunities, or like those crazy scales. Like, imagine you get to the end of the game, you're like, dude, I am the best collector in North America. I banked 100 motes this game. I am incredible. I just like the idea of giving the enemy team hard enemies, though. I can maybe send champions over to annoy them. I think it wouldn't be bad to send a champion over at, let's say, 20. Like, here's the thing. I want every role to feel like they have value in the game. Currently, everyone's doing the same thing, and a bad player hurts, but a good player does not feel valuable to the game. The only time that they do is invading. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that for a second. Bad players hurt Gambit more than good players help Gambit. Like a Gambit team. Like a really good Gambit player won't have as much value or as much impact as a bad Gambit player. I need to send some Giga enemy to actually slow down the good PvE players. Yes, I agree. If the collectors could send over at 20 banked. Oh, sorry, Eternity Jack. Should have waited on that. That's my bad. I keep throwing that at the boss, expecting it to change. I guess that's just instinct. Anyway. 30 motes for a Tormentor. For invaders, you could probably convince me as long as the invaders have a limit on how long they can linger on the enemy's side. Hell, make it a minute if you want. Just add a hard limit. No, hard disagree. Let them camp. Let them camp. Let them do their thing. Like, I'm looking at this from the perspective of a PvP player. The longer you are in one spot, the less value you have. Just, that's how it works. Your angle gets what we call staled. You get a stale angle. If I'm chilling up there as the invader, let's say, I can only be there for so long before somebody comes up with an answer for me. Not to mention, supers are a thing. I have 1 super. Then my enemy team is going to have 4. I am not going to be able to deal with 4 supers. No way. That's unfortunate. They're on left. There's laggy guy. Yeah, because, like, I can admit right now, this wall hacking business is bullshit. Like, I know exactly where this player is. I know exactly where this dude is right now. That's bullshit. Boink. That's bullshit. I shouldn't be able to do that. It's because invaders are too strong right now. Like, the thing is, you guys think I'm buffing invaders. I'm not. I'm giving the invaders the opportunity to be a problem, but I'm more or less nerfing them. Rather, I should say, I'm letting good invaders be better, and bad invaders feel even worse. Is that? There we go. Because the thing is, too, is like you have an opportunity right now as a PvP player to spec into Sentinel or as an invader. If I'm forced to make that decision between the two, if I'm forced to make the decision between do I want to be a better defender or do I want to be a better invader, and I'm more effective at both, like I can only, or rather I should only be effective in one or the other. I can invest in both. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be rewarded for being bad. That's a problem with invading. Exactly. Like right now, you are rewarded for just being there on the field. You're so much of a threat. Invaders are so incredibly powerful as it stands right now that even if you're a bad invader, there's no cost. And because there's no investment in order to get an invasion going, you can just invade right out the rip. You know what I'm saying? was like, just do it. Even if you're a shit invader, just throw yourself into the portal. Anyway, I think we're cycling people, right? Pretty sure we are. Can I join this time? Yes, please. Yeah, that's the point of invader right now. How to be any different? Yeah, like I'm picking on Pumpkin here because Pumpkin's in our Discord. We chat every now and then, or at least I see them chat. I lurk most of the time. So I'm picking on Pumpkin because I know Pumpkin a little bit better. But this is for just generally everybody. If the invader is very smart, they can consistently shift around and secure one or two more important kills. Can constantly make their presence known and slow down the enemy immensely. Good. Let them. Let them. That's my entire point. If they're a good invader, let them be a good invader. Let the invader have impact. Just make it a hard thing for the invader to have impact. You got everybody here? Like right now, invaders are too damn strong. Invaders right now can only stay so long. With TDT's revision, they can stay indefinitely. Yes. But they won't have heavy. And you'll have the ability as a sentinel to stack against them. The invader will not be able to collect motes. I'm also in the Discord. I know. A lot of people are in the Discord. Pumpkin's very vocal, though. I'm not picking on Pumpkin. Titan, you were already with us, were you not? Who was here last? What about PvE? Maybe we could include something similar to Onslaught for the stuff. I don't care how good you are at PvP. If someone gets close enough with something like Wardcliff, you are dead. Yeah. Like we're assuming here that the invader, in order for the problem to be what it is right now, the invader invaded with heavy. At least the way I see it, or rather, you don't have heavy yet somehow, because Again, like the guy said, I don't care how good you are at Gambit. I don't care how good of a PvE or a PvP player you are. Somebody locking onto you with Wardcliff Coil or Truth or Eyes of Tomorrow, you're fucked. I was there at stream yesterday. I can leave if needed. Who was the last person here? Okay. If nothing else, hey, thanks for the sub. If nothing else, this is kind of proven, or not proven. This helps me to understand how much I need to focus on, like, what I need to clarify with the points. Lord Crayon was last. Lord Crayon, get your ass out of here. You can join us next time. Also need to reward the defending playstyle, shutting down the invader. Yes, exactly. Which is why the Sentinel we talked about the things like the Sentinel being able to be something you can stack into. And the initial vision is that the invader drops heavy. The whole Gambit revision would work much better than a structured video. Look better in a structured video. Yeah, that's the point. Like, we're discussing the ideas right now. Because I want to feel out the crowd. I want to see what you guys' opinions are. The absolute fallback of everything I'm going to say is, like, clearly Gambit is not working. It's not working. Will Bungie change Gambit? Absolutely not. But if they were to give it another shot, let's say Destiny 3 rolls around. Right? And they're like, we actually want to give this Gambit thing another go. Right? How do they change it in a way that is interesting? Having heavy on invader death sounds so much better than what we have now. Yeah, because that's exactly the point. Like, if you get invaded and you're a good sentinel, you're excited. You know what I mean? You're going like, oh boy, heavy. I'm going to rip this dude up. I'm going to chew him up and I'm going to spit him out. Thank you for invading. I am so happy you invaded right now. Right? Whereas right now it's like, here we go. Comes Leviathan's Breath. Across the damn map. Overshield, wall hacks, bullshit. Yeah, turn the PvE people into bloodthirsty killers. Promise them heavy on death. Exactly. See more variety in overall gameplay. Maybe have Gambit that are races through strikes. That'd be kind of interesting, but I feel like we kind of already got the formula mostly down. It's just a matter of tweaking the individual components. How about you can choose to summon either blockers or defenders? Just an idea. I thought about that too, but I feel like letting the collectors send more powerful stuff through would be more valuable. Oh, did I clip that last one? Hold up. Make sure I clipped that because I had a pretty good game with that. I think I did. Yeah, it looks like I did good. Thank you so much for playing. Thank you for watching. This is 1v1 me bro redeemable right now. No, not right now. Probably not smart. There should be a lot less heavy than there is at current. Agreed. Which is why, like I said, the currently. All right, let's take this a step further. Actually, you just gave me a good idea. What if you had to bank, let's say, 15 motes in order to get, let's say, 3 shots of heavy, or 1 rocket, 3 grenade launchers, maybe 3 to 5, like basically a heavy ammo in PvP. Maybe make that a collector's perk. What's your opinions of Bungie at the stream? It frustrates me that Still Hunt's getting even better. With Division, you can just stop the enemy team entirely so long as you're good enough, which can win a game on its own since it's hard to lose a game when the enemy team is entirely stalemated. Okay, good. I don't see how that's a bad thing. They got skill checked. That's how PvP works. That's an easy to use heavy, but you don't get that in the bank, so it slows you down.
Hi. Bring a sword.
Oh, did I decrease my timer? I think I did. I'm seeing the vision, although I still don't know if the only way to get heavy being through an invader is a good idea. I think starving the enemy of heavy could be too oppressive as a strategy. But you would both be starved of heavy. You say that would be oppressive as a strategy. In order for it to actually be a strategy, that would mean that somebody's able to get an advantage on you. But if you both are in that same position, you both are able to lock each other down, then you would just be in basically a stalemate. Like worst case scenario, that's a stalemate. Because both of you don't have heavy now. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you could starve the enemy team of heavy, but so could you. You could starve them of heavy. So it becomes like you basically boycott them of invading. You're like, okay, you don't want to grab heavy, we won't, or you don't want to give us heavy, we won't give you heavy. Fine. We can handle it. We're better PvE players. We know how to do things with primaries and specials. Where we don't need heavy to be good PvE players. Sure. Lucky Pants becomes the best loadout by far. And then if you're thinking, okay, these guys are actually doing Lucky Pants stuff, we know that their primary DPS is actually the way they're going to go, we're going to invade. Because we don't care that much about giving them heavy. We could slow them down. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's answers now. That's the point. It's now a conversation. Like, okay, we know these guys are cracked PvE players. They're gonna cook us if we don't just start roasting them. Invade, shut them down. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Grab a couple more motes here. How do you find out that they do? Well, besides looking at how well they're doing and going, you know what? This whole starving them of heavy thing isn't working. They're still getting a lot of motes, because you can see it at the top. We can just look at their loadout before the game starts. Which is what you do in PvP. You go like, all right, these guys are running this particular thing. It's, I don't know, shotgun SMG. Let's stay at range. Hazelwood wants to go in. That's fine. Did you collect at least? They did not. It's fine. Okay. Wow, he cooked me quick. What if you could randomize who on the enemy team gets to invade? Like I said, I think that's a bad idea. Because if you want to be a collector and then you suddenly get the invader, you feel the pressure. Even if it's just an option, you suddenly feel the pressure of needing to invade. Which feels bad if you're really trying to focus on the PvE stuff. Yeah, randomizing doesn't work. I see what you're coming from, though, but that solves one problem and creates an even bigger one. Wait, if I unsub and sub, will that add to the time? No, we're talking channel members. Sub is just the generic term. That's Twitch's verbiage. How much stuff? That's pretty good stuff. I'll bank this and then go invade. Perfect timing. No, sir. Sorry. No microcosm for you. Not for you today, sir. Now look how much value I have as an invader right now, man. This is bullshit. There we go. There's all three. Only one of those hit heads. I feel so bad. Oh well. Invader. Oh, on our left. Yeah, didn't have time to react. I'll still say if you want to lock in rolls, they have the Gambit Prime sets. Like, I like the idea of that, and in theory that would be the best way to do it, but it doesn't... It gives too much of a stress test on players' loadouts. Well, I think right now that would increase too much of a barrier of entry. Whereas if we just made it a little bit easier to actually get those rolls going. Also, it allows you more variety during the game. Because right now, let's say you lock in right now. And you go like, you load in with, let's say, full invader set. And you realize that invading's kind of a bad idea because the enemy team just keeps shutting you down with a really good sentinel. You're stuck on that. It just sucks. You know what I mean? Left or right? Left or right? It's alright. Maybe. Tag. Dude, he's so lit. There you go. Let me invade again. I will rip them up.
Embrace the darkness. Take out those guardians.
One. Two. He's not gonna poke. Yes, he is. I missed my shot. Don't worry about it.
10 seconds.
That's nice, 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 nice.
Primeval compromised. Take it out.
What if certain armor perks had bonus effects in Gambit? Kinetic Scavenger mods allows you to hold a few more motes. Certain armor perks. Like, again, like, I see where you're coming from with the armor perks things. Like I said, though, it's a little bit too pigeonhole-y. Because the point of the thing is it allows you to adjust the strategy on the fly, which I believe is the problem with Gambit Prime, is it didn't allow you to adjust that strategy on the fly. At least part of the problem. Yeah, we got this. Let's use this. Not bad invasion on our friend's side here. You've seen Tom Christie's Destiny videos. I love Tom Christie. He's one of my favorite Destiny content creators, and I will say that even through all the amount of Destiny content creators we have collabed with, I love his videos. They're silly, and I love silly. If you've seen our stuff, you know how much I love a good silly.
The enemy team's about to win this. Get moving.
Damn, 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 damn.
Opposing team defeated their
Floodouts changing roles on the fly is less of a problem now. Yeah, but you still might, like... I don't feel like it's a good requirement to have to require 4 slots with very little variance in stuff, just your armor for this, you know? I would much rather it be, and even ignoring that for a second, I still feel like there should be some sort of punishment for somebody over-investing in something, right? Like, I feel like enforcing players, like, when they bank, and that's the thing that gives them, like, where they bank on that, or where they bank on the bank? On the, what is that thing called? Anyway, when they bank, where they bank on the bank determines what they're actually investing into. Ends up being a lot more interesting of a conversation, because if somebody's like starting to devote really hard into an invader, let's say that somebody really invests hard as an invader, right? And then they kind of suck as an invader. You're like, well, shit, this ain't working. We need to pivot strategies here. We might have screwed ourselves, right? We can still pull it back, but I'm not as good an invader as they are a sentinel. I like to argue against CDT's Gambit's revision, but I can't find the flaws in it except knowing that they exist somewhere. Is it more that, so like Pumpkin, is it more that you are arguing against the point because you just like it, or that because you like the idea of what Gambit is as it is, right? And that's fair. Like, I am totally open to say, like, if you dislike my idea just because you just like Gambit as it is, that is completely valid, right? My argument is that it's not working for the other majority of the population. If you were to do armor sets for the roles, you'd have to be dedicated Gambit player. IDK if anybody wanted to do those slots. Yeah, exactly. I think it would be a little too... The other idea I had prior to this one, but I still ended up going for the banking to actually invest in your role thing, is to have it be a class item, and then have your mods actually change what you're invested into. So you could still have this, and each of these would say cost 2, so 2, 4, 6, right? And that would be up to 10. So it would be like an invader mod. There'd be invader mods in here, Reaper mods, Sentinel mods, etc. So you could go Reaper, 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 or Reaper, Reaper, Invader, something like that.
All right, Mavericks. Ready to
I think
see
Gambit
what
right
you're
now is
fighting
fine,
today?
not good, or not great, or even good, just fine. But I'd rather have heavy crates just be a special crate. I agree with the special crates thing, but again, like, my point is, and I think you agree with this, that it's not working. It ain't working, Chief. It's not enough.
Get ready for transmit.
What if the invader dies and deals damage to the primeval, heals the enemy primeval? Not a bad idea, but I feel like it would be more tactile, I guess, if the invader's death meant more for the team rather than to the primeval. Sub-Zero uses the timer. That is correct. Hoover up the last of these here. Got a tenner. It's not great or even good. It's not fine. Gambit players are weird as they still deserve some love. Yeah. I'm always of the mindset that if something didn't work, you didn't try hard enough. It's very rare that an idea just sucks. There's an audience for everything. Gambit has an audience, clearly. They have a very dedicated fan base. Let the fan base have more value. Like, let them feel more rewarded for being good at Gambit. One of Gambit's biggest issues, years of bad feelings, memes making many players automatically cringe to stay away. I disagree with that. People have been saying that about PvP for years, and it still holds on to an audience. Can't shoot them from there. Well, you've got a barrier. Now I can shoot you. Wait. Come back. 10
seconds left. That's 2.
There we go. Oh, moments. That's fine. I swear my knife does not come back very fast. think it'd be a lot better if some other thing that could switch up. Because it stands Gambit gets stale fast. Yeah, that's also the reason why I'm going with the banking idea, as to deviate your role. Because right now there's only so much variation you get, and realistically, it's mostly the maps. The enemies don't have that much variety. Let's just be real. You're gonna shoot a hive in the face just as quickly as you're gonna shoot a cabal in the face. How you engage with those enemies is too similar. But if, let's say, you got into this match and you're like, hey, you know what? Sentinel's actually going to be better here. If it's more reactive to the enemy team, it becomes a little closer in terms of PvP, in terms of how you're interacting with the other players. Not necessarily because you're PvPing more, just because you're interacting with the other players, making it the new thing. Then that starts to feel a lot better, I think. Ow, that hurt. More than one game mode, which is why I hate Gambit races. Like, I don't think you can make it a separate game mode. Like, I don't think you can do anything other than game modes. Like I said, if you could spec between, like, this game, I'm actually focusing more on being an invader, because I feel like that's more necessary for this one. It's lit. Challenge me, bud. Thank you. Indeed, Druid's Strand clone. It's funny. Shadow that called me a Gambit player. I'm not. More concerned about how TDT changes could cause Gambit to be far more PvP oriented, causing it to overshadow the PvE aspects. You're still, at the end of the day, having to kill a boss. I don't think you're ever going to be able to make Gambit not a PvE thing. I think it's impossible. Because you're still having to kill a boss at the end of the day. I think you would attract more PvP players, though, if you made it a little bit more PvP orientated. Not even that. Make it more strategy orientated. Like, you could call chess a PvP game. Aw, you bitch. You could call chess a PvP game, right? But it doesn't play like PvP in the traditional idea that we think about it. It's more of a strategy game. You're just strategizing against an opponent. Where is he? There he is. I am not in a good spot here. He's got range. I'm screwed. There he is. Okay. Think you'll be streaming when I get back? No, I want to make this Gambit video. The more I've talked about it, the more passionately I've gotten engaged with it. The more I think that that the idea has actually able to hold some water. So I want to make that video. So it will require me to stop stream a little early today. What if the invader's stronger perks with something like buffing the primeval with extra damage? Making more of the PvE thing? That's not a bad idea. I kind of like that. Making, like, while you're invading enemies, PvE enemies deal more damage or whatnot. Putting a little bit more in the PvE player's hands to actually cope with it. Sure. I'm down for that. I want Gambit to be more of a strategy game, since it's most fun when the teams are neck and neck and the single player could win the match. Right. Which is the entire point I'm trying to drive at. Which is like, if you disagree with that, that's the direction it's going. I want to hear that side of the argument, not the invader too strong argument. Again, my point is, like, if the invader is good, let the invader be good. I also think that if you make invading more of a risk reward, it discourages bad players from doing it. Because now there's the social pressure not to throw more than there already is, right? Because if you're like, dude, don't give them heavy, you dumbass, right? And now you're thinking that only needs to happen a handful of times before you're like, I don't want to give them heavy. I'm a PvE player. I don't want to give them heavy. I'm not good enough to be an invader. Somebody else go invade, right? You start throwing the tools in the other hands, like, somebody else do it. I can't. And I think you'll have far less of those issues of, like, somebody stealing your invasion poles or whatnot. You can just kill the boss, right? There we go. Not quite. Not quite. The flaw I see in your strategy is that a main strategy would be to just have a good player, good PvP player camp the enemy side, while the rest of PvE players with the still hunt or something to bake the primeval fast. Then you would have to get... You're assuming that there's not a good PvP player on the enemy side either. Like, you're assuming that there's not at least one half-decent PvP player, which in and of itself I think is a flawed argument. Because it's, again a 4v1 of a player who's not stacked up. In order for the invader to have really any legitimate presence on the battlefield, other than just them being there, they'd have to have banked moats already. Which means that they would have had to invest some time in order to actually get to that point. Which means it's a PvE race for the first half of the game. Oh, also we're cycling, right? For the first half of the game, it's a PvE race, which means that if one team is just a better PvE team, they're going to have a stronger sentinel than your invader. You win. And then even if it is a situation where it really comes down to who's the better PvP player, you're assuming that one team just doesn't have one, and that they're going to consistently lose the 4v1, which I find ridiculous, frankly. Each team would end up running the same consistent strategy, which would make Gambit more or less the same as it is now. But it would at least feel more interesting. Like, even if it ends up being more or less what it is right now, there's at least more of a conversation going on between the two players. Where as it is right now, it's just invade, be good at PvE. That's the whole point of Gambit. There's very little strategy involved in Gambit. And like, it's like, not to say there's none, but PvE is best, or excuse me, Gambit is best when there's strategy involved. And if you make those strategy elements be more important to winning the game, I feel like Gambit would be more fun. Because right now there's not enough. Okay, idea. This is from GB Lego. Gambit teams have 2 dedicated PvE players and 2 dedicated PvP players. The PvE players spawn in their maps into play Gambit as it is now, just without invasions. The PvP players spawn into a 3rd neutral map with less ammo to kill each other from moats, with neutral bank opposing, opening and closing out at regular intervals to make things interesting. When the PvE players bank, they send their PvP players ammo. When the PvP players bank, they send blockers to the enemy. That's actually a really cool idea. I think it's too much of a departure just in terms of where it is. Like, we want to give Bungie the tools that they already have and tell them to use it in more interesting ways, or rather let Bungie do that, right? What I'm suggesting here is not a massive change to how Gambit is currently structured in terms of like the programming that's already available. The biggest thing would be the bank change, right? But we had the perks for Reapers and Collectors and Invaders and Sentinels and all the other stuff. They already have that. It's already in the game, right? Changing the timer to just be an infinite amount of time is easy. That's an interchange, right? I think a 3rd map would be a lot more complicated to program overall. You know what I'm saying? Like, I agree with that. That's a really cool idea. But I think it's too much. It's too much to change up. It'd be too much of an investment. Hell, dude, they weren't even willing to give the Drifter lip syncing. I don't think they're going to be willing to invest and make a whole new set of mechanics and stuff. You know what I mean? It'd be much harder to make. Exactly. Yeah, it's a little too hard to make. I think it's cool though. Who is our overflow here? New genius idea, just delete Gambit forever. Boo. It's lame. The Gambit means a fundamental change as its core, as most changes just make the band-aid fix instead of addressing the root problem, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to change it fundamentally without requiring a lot of resources. You see what I'm saying? Turn Gambit into a hard strategy game like Settlers of Catan, managing your resources and hedging your bets for when the enemy team is about to do something, and allowing strategy to be a forefront of the dichotomy between PvE and PvP. Bingo! Exactly, Benji. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Sorry for being real and honest. You're not being real and honest. You're being unhelpful. You didn't add to the conversation at all. Effectively, Gambit is deleted. Just by saying delete it permanently doesn't fix Gambit. It doesn't allow the players, the 60,000 players who do enjoy Gambit, to actually have something to look forward to. More than that, it's assuming that Gambit, if it were better, would not be good for the player base. That's coming from a position of bad faith. Instead of addressing it and looking at it from the perspective of Gambit could be good, imagine if I liked Gambit. Like, that's where I'm coming from. It's like, imagine if I liked Gambit. Imagine if I enjoyed playing Gambit. What would that look like for me? Those Gambit numbers are inflated by you, by the way. Yep. Young Mitro is just baiting you, ignoring. No, but I think it's a good thing to address. Even though I know he's trolling. Obviously, he's trolling. Like, I think that's a very prevalent mindset. Or rather, it's the low brain knee-jerk mindset. People don't like to think. So if anytime they can create a shortcut for themselves, right, and just say, haha, delete Gambit as their shortcut to actually thinking, they're going to do that. I think TDT as a whole generally encourages people to actually engage their brain a little bit more. Because we actually talk about, like, what if? You know, what if? Let's not just say PvP bad. Like, what can we do to make PvP better? But still, I think it's worthy to address Gambit. Yeah, delete Gambit as a cop-out. Exactly. If someone says to use Hush in a stupid build, you better have one at the ready. I've got a good one. I've got a Hip Fire Grip Archer's Gambit one that's pretty cool. Right now, Bungie doesn't want to get rid of Gambit because there is a player base there. They just need incentive to actually improve it. Yeah, the problem right now, let's address it from that point of view. Let's address it from that point of view. Bungie has no incentive monetarily to improve Gambit right now. None. There's not enough players invested in it that they can't set it as a selling point. It's the same problem with PvP. It's hard to sell people PvP stuff because it's free. Right? They're not doing map packs, which feels bad. It's hard to get a price tag behind Gambit. Right? Which is why I'm coming from the mindset of that they have to address Gambit in such a way that they use the tools that they already have available to them or had available to them, past tense. Right? And be able to give something to Gambit that makes it actually fun. Make it a good faith investment. You're under 100 subs. What happened? That reminds me. Thank you. Is it just me or TDT responded only Pumpkin? I've responded to mostly Pumpkin because Pumpkin's been the most outspoken. And outspoken against my points, but in a way that they're presenting a counter argument. It's not just I dislike it. Right? Like whoever it was that said just delete Gambit. That's not helpful. That's not a conversation. Right? More people are willing to agree with me because I'm the streamer guy, right? I'm the funny social interaction that you guys have, right? So I'm more willing. I want to actually engage with people's mindsets who disagree with me, and then have this conversation back and forth, come up with an argument because it strengthens my ideas. It's to my benefit to talk to somebody who disagrees with me.
All right,
Got up the player count for them to invest more. They want to retain players, not lose them, which is what they're trying to get rid of stuff to do. Yeah, exactly. I'm only agreeing with you because I felt the pain of 10+ hours in one sitting, right? Is green members. Yes, green is channel members. Just joining. DK if you've had this convo yet. But I think the weapon sandbox is what killed Gambit player base. Getting Xenophage and Galahorn across the map. Yep, we've talked about that. That was the very first thing we addressed. The very first thing we addressed. Our solution is make invaders the only source of heavy drops. When somebody invades and you kill them, they drop heavy. Suddenly, invading doesn't feel quite as much as the auto lock must choose as it currently is. It's become, I don't think if I want to give my enemy team heavy, that might be a really dumb idea. Mode over here. Better get just a bunch of bot accounts and sub. When I say sub, I mean like channel member, like paid subs like Twitch. Wouldn't the counter to that just jump off the map and you get trapped? If you get trapped, what do you mean? Oh, if you get, like, trapped? Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, sure, but how are you going to have value? So you, like, chill over here, I guess? How are you going to have value as a player? You know, you're kind of, like, betting against yourself, right? Also, the other thing that we discussed is that the longer you're invading, the longer it's on cooldown. So you can invade as much as you want, but you're encouraged to not be in there for very long, unless you're constantly getting value. So if, let's say, you invade for 6 minutes, a ridiculous amount of time, you're not going to be able to invade for the rest of the game. So if you're just chilling in the corner of the map and just jumping off, then you're just not able to invade. There we go. I knew you were coming. Where? ¿Dónde está las invasor? There you are. You're right here, aren't you? Yep. That's bold to you to use your primary weapon here. Come on. He's out. Cool. Dota button D2, that'd be funny. That'd be funny. The goal has always been to speedrun the Primeval. It's a race. Yep. The point I'm trying to make is that if you make the race more horizontal rather than linear as it is right now, because there's the strategy is exactly the same every single Gambit match. It's always exactly the same. Invade, kill the invader. Oh, hello. Push me again. Nice. Good shot, sure. Good shot. My biggest worry is that they just can Gambit one day. The lore behind why we have Gambit and the connection to the Knight is make some of the best lore in the game. I think that's partially why they haven't actually. I'd be willing to bet that they would have canned Gambit already if it was not for the lore, because they made a lot of stuff that is kind of critical for Gambit being a thing. Another invader. There he is. Nice. There we go. We only got one. Would have liked to have not had any, but, you know, it is what it is. Drifter's the best NPC. Yeah, he's got some great character. Love the Drifter. Drifter's cool. Y'all do not want me to invade this game, huh? Alright, fair enough. Lost somebody? Got one. Let me give it a go. I'll let you give some value here. That's it. It's like the thing is these roles already exist in some capacity, but if I felt like right now, playing like Sentinel that game, I don't feel like I had as much of an impact into the game as I would like to have. Like there's just no pomp and circumstance, right?
You're getting paid today.
Yeah, no moats. Would love to see that. And that's the thing. Like right now, you can just kind of not do a whole lot. I didn't really do a whole lot. We still won. Yeah, heavy only drops killing the invader. Yeah, I'm thinking heavy only drops killing the invader, or if you invest as a collector. You get like max level as a collector, you start dropping heavies. Or maybe Reaper. Probably Reaper. Max level as a Reaper, heavy starts dropping. So it encourages you to get the Reaper up quickly. Alright, we cycle. Do one more. Be some bottom frag. Consistent in Gambit. Yeah, it's very true. They exist, but they aren't hard rolls. A lot of the times, one or two players carrying moats. Boss damage, yep. How's Gambit so far? It's fine. We're only going to be going for another 30 minutes here, chat. We're not going to be going for very long today. What about Aeon's arms dropping ammo? It's not a lot. It's like one shot. Has anyone brought the old Gambit Rolls armor? Yes, plenty of times. Maybe a banker. You have like 10% increase to motes dropped. Like an extra mote dropped on a bigger target. That'd be cool. Yeah. They've already got the Gambit. I don't think this will show up. I think WebMs don't show up. They do. Interesting. Does this work? It does. Interesting. OBS reads WebMs. Here's the old rolls right here. I'm doing some research for this video. It's going to come out tomorrow, assuming all goes well. Also, I need to drop down our sub count 1 sec. Not cycling right now, I guess. Yeah, we'll do one more. Yeah, there's the old perks. We've been talking about them at depth, but I think that these need to be a little bit changed up a little bit. All right. Anyway, moving on. Here, while this is loading, I'm gonna quickly zip to the bathroom. I'll be right back, chat. Alright, I am back. Got a ding? Nice. Ding. Ooh, another ding. Damn. That's some good ding. Ding. Oh, shit. Another ding? Bro, what is happening right now? Writing some stuff down for my script here, some ideas and stuff that we've discussed. Ding coin investments are off the chart. That's crazy. Just got jump scared by the drifter. Maybe disable all ammo drops and every area clear drops green ammo instead of heavy. That could use to deal with the heavy ammo invader area. The invader idea. Yeah, I like the idea of like special. I actually like the idea of like no special at all unless you start banking motes. Ding. And then like as soon as you start getting like let's say a collector down, then they start dropping special.
All right, Mavericks.
Dang, dude, the freaking the drifter is very kind right now.
Bring a sword. Be brave, be notorious. Fun fact: you can ignite hive guts.
Yeah, the idea is not bad either to give it the option to bank to summon ammo. Probably just special though. Stock strap drifters feeling spicy, yeah. Focus on primary ammo would make Gambit feel hopefully better. Yeah, it'll at least make it feel a little less stale. We're gonna have to bank to invade, yeah. Really like the locked bank idea on invasion. It helped prioritize clearing the invader over hiding from him, which is the general play right now. Well, if they invade for an indefinite period of time, right? You would basically be locking that down, right, until they deal with you. Because what you don't want to do, with that idea, Benji, what you don't want them to do is you don't want them to go and hide somewhere. Like that would only work if the invader still had like a time limit on their hands. But I feel like that comes to the exact same problem of just continuously invade over and over and over again instead of having like a conversation about it. Now, if you made that a perk, right? Let's say that you made that a perk to the invader. That while they're invading, they lock down your bank. Or what if they're near your bank, they lock down your bank. So if they're somehow able to control middle map, right? Kind of exposing themselves more or less. Ooh, this is a good team, apparently. Okay, I got my 15. Let's go deal with the invader. No visuals on target. No visuals on target. Sniper from somewhere. Okay, they're out. Level 15 invader standing near the bank, locked down and drained moats. Exactly. Yeah, let that be a thing. That also encourage, you know what? I'd take it even further. I'd take it even further. Level 15, lock down the bank and start stealing moats. Summons walls around the invasion point. Like, basically, barricades. What am I doing? I need a bank. Welcome to the Thunderdome, bitch. That also makes closer range PvP loadouts a little bit more valuable, because right now it's only long range. I'm a bad banker. I'm a bad Gambit player. Damn. Alright, we got it up. Scoped in, so we might not know that I'm coming out wide. A little exposed here. Not quite. Couldn't quite get the shot up in time. Good cleanup, Eternity. Like the idea of the invader locking the bank when near it, otherwise they can run and hide an invis loadout. Yep, exactly. So they have to be near it, otherwise they would just hide. I also like the idea of summoning the walls. Right, because then it's like, okay, no, you have to come to me. At a high-level invader, you're coming to me. So someone who's not good at PvP, it can be impactful, possibly. Yep, if they invested hard enough. They are a good enough PvE player to make up the difference. Absolutely. Get out of here, nerd. What the hell? What are you doing over here? This fucking guy. Get out of here. Let me invade. Let me ruin their life. Please let me ruin their life. Excited to see a Gambit talk video. If Bungie actually took time to make Gambit feel better, feel great again. That's the problem, is they don't have any incentive to. I don't think they're going to. No matter what we do, they're not going to. But we can at least talk about it, make ourselves feel better. That's just the hard truth, unfortunately. Left side. And you got yanked out, unfortunately. I did nothing again. Let's go! I think invaders should choose where they spawn. It's too predictable now. I think it should be more random. The spawns definitely need to be addressed. I'll definitely talk about that, because the spawns are too predictable right now. You have that locked in the bank. You get a Bubble Titan and Saint 14 just vibing on the bank. Good. Let them. Let them. They have to invest a super into that. Yeah, and then challenge them to the Thunderdome. They're basically saying, use your super on me. I dare you. Good. Let them. Oh, yeah. We're cycling now. Whoa. One more game chat, and then I got to go make that video. A lot of good discussion that we've had here. Spawns are atrocious on the EDZ map, and the invader practically spawns on the beach. Yeah. Yep. We're going to be if you've played a game with us today, please back out. Let other people take your spot. So, Existence. I don't think Foundation has played with us, right? Bruh. Like, if you have players in 2/3 of the zones, it'll always put the invader on the remaining 1/3. Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool if the invader spawned, let's say, predictably in the center, but they're invisible, like truly invisible and invincible. So they could decide where they wanted to go. But here's the thing, you could see them on radar. So if you had, like, this isn't like a hard suggestion, just some way to get around it, just spitballing an idea here. So if you had, like, things in the center, you wouldn't actually be able to tell where they were. And it gives the invader a little bit of cover. So it encourages you to keep it clean. Right? But they could kind of pick where they quote-unquote spawn. Maybe they have like 15 seconds or so before that effect removes. Just a spitballing an idea. I don't know if that would be the best solution, but, you know, again, spitballing an idea here. I forgot who joined first. The cheap sheet you pulled yesterday, literally my power died. I don't know what you want from me. What man and agent will last? Okay. But an agent. There we go. All right, last game of the day. I would love to stream more today, but I also love to make videos, so we're going to be doing that instead. At least one more teleport area. So telespots are easy. Invaders are easy, yeah. Also, I think you could give the invader wherever they spawn at just an intense overshield. So even if they get camped or whatnot, they're just like, for the brief period of time they're coming out, they're practically immune. So you kind of have to like give them their space, but I don't know. It's a hard solution. The best solution is just have them spawn in more unique areas. It's just making me feel really bad for the invader if they picked a bad time to invade, since they could just be followed around and killed before they even got a chance to do something. True. Just like you probably loved your power. I did like my power going out, actually. Yes, I was actually very happy about that. Well, kinda. I'm always worried about my PlayStation whenever the power goes out. What's your favorite exotic? Probably Rat King right now. Give him 5 seconds of dungeon or raid boss defense. Best way to fix Gambit, in my opinion, is to actually making the game mode feel like competitive and not a battle of who has the better start, since the game loves to have RNG maps, RNG enemies, RNG matchmaking. Kinda disagree with that. He admitted to the crime. No, I admitted to being happy about the circumstances, not about committing the crime. It's often telegraphed that the invader is behind you. As far away as they can get away with it. Would love if they could just spawn to the initial spawn. And back area if no one checks. Yeah, it's confusing that they don't spawn back here. I don't understand that. I think the biggest problem is that because you, as the player, don't spawn in and out the map. Like, the things are over here. Why don't spawn me over there when I die? So it's like addressed from both sides of things, I think would help. Most maps have portals too. What if you spawned like here more consistently near a portal? You have the AC on? I do not have the AC on. I'm going to not turn on my AC during the peak hours. Oh no, my power went out. Yeah, no, it wasn't like that. Trust us, we've been having difficulty. You'll understand if you live in a hot area like we do. Power outages are unfortunately kind of common. Could you not do what it is you're doing right now? Thank you. It was a lot more stressful for some. PvP will always take a back burner to PvE. It's kind of like how WoW before they got rid of the PvP servers, right? Thanks for the stream. For someone new for me, I'm loving your content. Keep it up. Thanks, appreciate that. Oh, I didn't get enough for that, huh? So get to reading chat and not looking at the moats. In the desert today is a casual 108 degrees. Yeah, it's 89 right now, which is actually cool for us. Normally it's 89 inside the house. go. Do not have enough modes quite yet. I'm getting clapped. Let me invade. I'll be a good invader. Trust. Alright, let's go. Sounds like summer to me. Yep. Certainly, it'd be summer. Oh, I guess I need to bank. That's fine. Power outage must have been pulled by Beast. Accusations. Sorry, accusations. I also think Gambit matches should generally be longer. Like, this game's going to be pretty short. But it's going to be short in a way that, like, I don't feel like I've done anything. Ooh, Forerunner. Nice. Forerunner is a pick. So let me show you some power. A good invader. Damn, I can't freaking see him because there's... Hi, friend. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye. Bye. Where's your friend? Oh, they invade? Okay, fair enough. Almost. Who created the Twitch API? John Twitch. Creator of Twitch.
Focus your fire.
There we go.
Dirty. I like it. Enemy invader is
Let me go. I have the funny thing.
You're invading. Make a mess. You gained the lead.
Nice. The guy with the Forerunner is pretty good. It's like, I find that to be far more interesting when, like, we got a good Sentinel and a good Invader, like two good PvP players locking horns with each other, while their PvE team is desperately trying to beat the match as quickly as we can, you know? Like, I think that's really cool. I think it's really, really cool. That, for me, was like peak Gambit experience right there. That's Gambit at its absolute best. Both Invaders and the Defenders are both very skilled players, trying to shut each other down, and the two PvE, the teams of 3 PvE players are just cooking that Primeval as fast as they can. Very fun. I'm gonna give this guy a commendation. Level-headed. As much as I love to invade, the sentry roll is necessary, right? Alright, everybody. As much as I would love to keep going today, I really need to get working on this video. I'm very impassioned about it. So I want to see Gambit be better. I think the ideas that we're talking about here could be really cool. Twitch, I'm going to send you out. Who do you want to go visit today? Give enemy commendations. Yeah, you can give enemy commendations. Who's out there right now? Let's see. Let me close this down. Stop this too. Don't need that. Let's see. Mactix? Sure, we can visit Mactix. Is he out there right now? Is he live right now? He probably is. Probably is. /raid. /raid. Is it Mactix with a capital M? Mactix? Is it Mactix with a capital M, chat? I think it is, right? We ding for a second, right? Yep. Okay, cool. Cool. Alrighty, chat. Thank you so much. I loved the discussion today. I would love to keep going. I'd love to keep streaming. I just like talking with y'all. But unfortunately, I got to working on the video. Bless your faces and deuces.